welcome to a very special preview episode of Inside the Circle. Let's have a look at Men's Group 1. Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Inside the Circle, and this is a podcast series that we're going to be doing during the Olympics to see how each of the days go and recap them. We're going to intend to do them each morning so you can have your breakfast and listen to our lovely voices. Today we have a very special episode. It is a Group A preview episode, and there's one man that can only do this for us, and that is Mr. Simon Mason. Now Simon, how do you think the teams in Group A stack up?
In the men's competition, Pool A and Pool B are both going to be incredibly tight. The ability to predict who wins the men's competition, given the nature of how the Pro League has played out and the rankings of the side, becomes really, really tough. We've got Netherlands, Germany, we've got GB, Spain, we've got South Africa and France in Pool A, and because of the nature of the rankings, you'd expect the top four is fairly well set, because you're going to struggle to see South Africa and France breaking through those, but you just never know. To start with the Netherlands, obviously difficult from a player perspective to look beyond Jip Janssen, top of the goal scorers table, with his penalty corners primarily during the course of the Pro League season. Has played fantastically well and scored some really, really big goals from set pieces. Set pieces in the men's competition particularly are going to be hugely important to a number of the teams, and we can reel off the names of the penalty corner strikers who might have an impact across the competition. Hendricks and Harmanpreet and Janssen, just to name a few. Payet, obviously, for Germany, we'll come to in a minute. But for the Netherlands, it goes deeper than that. It's whether their captain, if Thierry Brinkman is given the armband for Paris, whether his maturity that he now shows comes to the fore. Is that something that he can deliver on the Olympic stage? It is certainly something that he's built into his game since he's been given the captaincy. There's still that fiery, combative, competitive nature, but it's not quite over the line. It sits right on the edge. And then with Jonas de Geus in the middle, the Dutch see him in such high regard, almost invisible at times, but plays this cornerstone linchpin role that they can then put everything around. You then go from there into Germany. Can we see a Nicholas Vellen, who's been a little bit quiet in the last 6 months? Can he recreate the form he showed at the World Cup when essentially he was almost unplayable? Was truly brilliant as a high world-class performer. Ruhr coming back from injury, can he then show the sharpness of form that will inspire the players behind him? The Grambusch brothers inside that as well. Mats manipulating the midfield spaces, and then Tom coming up for corners to support Payet that we've already talked about. That gives them a fabulous double castle battery at the top of the circle. Great Britain, they want to play quickly. They want to play really, really fast, and you have to look at Zach Wallace as being a catalyst for that. He'll want to generate the speed of attack, playing through big channels. They're happy to run with the ball, and they want to go toe-to-toe with absolutely anybody in the competition and prove that their world ranking of 2, as it is now heading into the games, is justified, and they can then get on that podium moving forward. But they're going to have a solid defensive performance if they're really going to succeed. They're going to need to look at someone like David Ames in a screen position in front of Ollie Payne, the goalkeeper, to set a platform that an Albury, for example, can burst from, or a Waller forwards into those front lines to create the goal scoring opportunities. Spain, I have to look at them as disruptors. You've got Jordi Bonastra, who's a feisty, again, combative individual, really, really pacey. When they let him drop back into the back four, I don't think it plays to their strengths as much as it should do. They need to keep him in a higher midfield line, because then he can support the linchpin of their team, which is their captain, Marc Marias. If Marc Marias can play at 95 to 100% of his potential, he's absolutely the player who will inspire Spain. Do I think they're going to make it onto the rostrum? No. At this moment in time, I don't. I don't think their results have been consistent enough. But will they impact on the order of the teams within their pool, and therefore potentially influence who comes out on top in the later games? I think they're going to steal some points, and therefore they're going to get to a position where suddenly maybe they're third and someone else gets pushed down to fourth. They're in that position. I can't see the last two teams really disrupting that, but for Spain, I certainly can. The last two teams in that pool, France, host nations, traditionally in world competitions and Olympic Games, do play better than their ranking. We've seen that over the years. So France could do that. home turf. They've been training really well. They've been getting close to the world's top teams, but they're going to have to rely primarily on their goalkeeper, Arthur Thierry. He was goalkeeper of the tournament at the recent Nations Cup. He's going to have to play out of his skin. He's going to have to stop some of the world's very best strikers. And then at the other end, they're going to have to look to their set pieces. Can they get Timothée Clément to create the opportunities in the circle, at least the penalty corners, that means someone like a Victor Chalet can step up and deliver to get them on the scoreboard. Tough ask for them to get anywhere outside of the bottom two, but you never know. And then finally, South Africa. They're going to have to play literally to every single strength that they've got. They're going to have to look at the Kassim boys to see whether they can inspire with the flair and the brilliance that they bring, but they're going to have to temper that with a degree of professionalism. Then they're going to have to build it off a defensive platform. They're going to have to look again to their set pieces. They're going to have to look to Gowan Jones, their goalkeeper, double Olympian Jones. He'll bring his experience to try and create a solid defensive platform they can distribute from. But they're going to have to hold the ball well when they get it. They're not going to get a huge amount of ball. Territory and possession are going to be key points, and therefore having patience to build themselves up through the pool. So will we see anybody outside of the top four ranked teams in Pool A making it through the quarterfinals? I think that's a big ask for the teams that are there, but so much excitement, so many fantastic players across the competition, and we shall see. We'll be back soon with more insight into the other pools across the men's and the women's competition, but for now, that's my thoughts on Pool A.
Thanks, Simon. That's some really interesting stuff there from Group A. I mean, those teams are going to be it's such a tight group. It really is such a tight group, and some unbelievable players playing at these Olympics.
Absolutely. I mean, Simon's very right in highlighting Jip Janssen for the Dutch. He has just been scoring goals for fun for both his country and his club. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can continue that performance at these games with this heightened emotion, pressure, all of that sort of thing. It'll be really, really interesting.
Yeah, he is under pressure to perform it, maybe.
100%. The two other teams that he mentioned, the Dutch again and Germany are two teams that should be certainly first, second in that group. But the two players that I think that we definitely need to watch is Chris Ruhr for Germany and Duco Tellenkamp for the Dutch. Both have been spotted using sticks that I've not seen before and are very interesting, I think.
Well, Nike coming into the market is interesting with some hockey sticks. That's going to maybe shake it up a bit. I know that we've had their shoes for a few weeks and already sold out. So you know, they could really shake up the market here. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
I totally agree. I think if this is Nike unveiling hockey sticks, the Olympics is the perfect place to do it. And I think I'm going to be absolutely watching very closely to see if these sticks perform well on this French blue pitch.
Look, I've seen their social media stuff. They are teasing it out a bit, but as you say, what's going to look like on the pitch in Paris will be interesting. Talking about the French, the goalkeeper, he's going to be a busy guy. I really do think so. I see him and Ollie Payne are both going to be wearing Mercian, the elite range. I mean, they are just really top-notch kickers and pads. The rebound on them is superb, and just trying to get the people past the oboe sort of side of things is difficult. But once they come into the shop here, put them on, you know, the rebound, the comfort, even the moldability, as you could say, inside the kicker and around the leg is just next to none, really. I mean, they are really good, and it'll be interesting. They'll get well worn, I think.
I think so.
And yeah, I think they'll be well worn, and it'll be just interesting to see how the French keeper. I think he could be keeper of the tournament as he was a couple of tournaments ago, but. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, absolutely. And look, Ollie Payne for GB and the GB team, I think they're a sort of a wild card for that. Them and Spain, look, the two of them are going to be battling out for that sort of third, fourth place in the group to see what happens next for them if they can get through into the knockout stages. Those are the two teams that I think have the most to lose in this round of group games.
Look, Spain, go back to 2012. Spain were just so unlucky. I think they had about 2 broken collarbones, and right down to the last day, if not 2 days, of their matches at the end of the tournament. They were down to 9 players. The reserve goalkeeper on the pitch. Everything happening to them. They're really unlucky. Look, they've 3 silver medals from Olympic Games. You know, you just can't push it out. From a GB point of view, great to see Davy Ames from Cookstown.
Absolutely.
Local guy. Cookstown are producing players and players and players, and they're playing for Ireland GB. You know, Sloan father and
Yes,
son.
true. Yes, absolutely.
Right back to the early 80s in those Olympics. I mean, the dad was playing, so I mean, it's just fantastic. And well done to Cookstown for producing those sort of level of players.
Absolutely, it's another reason that I love seeing local teams doing well for both Ireland, GB, any of those the local clubs that then can go, yes, we have a player playing in the Olympics. It's just amazing.
Well, it's great for everything, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think to round the group up, you have to talk about South Africa. Like Simon was saying, they have to be on their absolute A game from minute 1 to the end of every game, just to keep themselves in it.
Well, I think that's probably where they're going to falter. They're not going to last the full match, and they might take teams, you know, up to the second quarter, halfway through the second quarter, maybe into the third quarter. But I think after that, they're probably going to falter, and that's where the goals are going to score. And the other teams
It's going to be the lack of experience from them in playing high end tournaments in, like we said before, big pressure environments in front of hopefully big sellout crowds. Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. I think it's going to be very tough for them. We always wish them the best.
Yep,
it's going to be tough.
It'd be nice to see a couple of, like any Olympics, you want to see a couple of really good sort of upsets.
Yes.
I'm just not sure South Africa might have it, but who knows? I think Spain will have a better chance of an upset or whatever else.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Just to finish off, quiz. When was men's hockey first in the Olympics? Give you a clue. London?
No, it's not 2012.
No. You weren't about. 1908.
Well, you look well for that age.
I do. I have to say, I really do.
Good moisturiser on that one.
Yeah, the moisturizer's kicking in, working well. But anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, thank you very much for watching. I think we can't talk any more about Group 1 without seeing them how they play. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the first games on the 27th in France for the Olympics. And we'll recap the day after. We hope to see you there, and thank you very much for watching.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.